So today is finally the day, the long anticipated Switch 2 release day. And today we're going to be looking exactly what's inside the Nintendo Switch 2 box. So when you first open the box, you're just going to open up the little tab right here. So first we're going to have our Switch 2 Joy-Cons. We have a blue one and a red one. I say red, but really it's not very much of a red, if I had to be honest with you. And then we have the Switch console itself right here. So right off the bat, at first glance, you can tell that they're slightly bigger. They feel a lot bigger in the hands as well. So if you do compare it to the originals, you can tell right away that they are bigger. They also are a little bit thicker from what I can see as well. It might not come off very well on camera, but they totally are. But overall, if you compare it to the Nintendo Switch 1, you can tell there that they are bigger. Moving those to the side, we can now look at the Switch 2 console itself. Right off the bat, I can tell it's dusty. I don't know why, but it is. It just got dust immediately. And it does feel massive. And I really do mean like it feels really, really massive. Awkwardly massive. So with the Switch 2, when you look to the back, instead of having just one long thing, it's still technically just one long thing. But it is shaped like a U, which is very nice in my opinion. It kind of just slightly makes it feel just slightly more unique, a bit better. It also doesn't feel all that cheap from what I feel. I can't necessarily tell if it's a plastic stand or metal. It feels like it might be plastic, but a very dense plastic. Or there is a plastic coating on top of metal. I can't really tell. But overall, it does feel very nice in the hands. And just holding it without the Joy-Cons, I can already tell that this one is going to be a bit thicker. And handily enough, Nintendo did think to include a color scheme. So basically, when you look to the side, it'll match the side of the Joy-Con, so you can just easily match it to the side and click it in. And I will say that it does feel very nice when I click the Joy-Cons in. I do wish that they did include a second version for like a different color scheme, because it's fine if they want to include the blue and salmon-ish, pinkish color, because it's not a true red if I have to be honest. I personally would have preferred to get it either in a black shade or a white shade. That would have been my preference, but it's not a thing, so you get what you can. I'm going to do two things. One, put a screen protector on this thing before I break it or scratch it. And then I want to see how hard it is to just pull off the Joy-Cons. My favorite part is watching it sink. I don't know why, it's just satisfying to me. But now that that's done, I'm going to put the Joy-Cons back on, and I will admit, like, they do work very well. They do click into place very smoothly. And even with the power off, I didn't turn on the power yet. I can't, it's not possible. Well, no, I shouldn't say it's possible. I promise you, if I try hard enough, they will rip apart. But in the same way, if I do pull hard enough on both the OLED and the original Switch, like, you can break them. So it really does feel like the only way I can pull them out is if I do use the trigger on the back to pull them out. This is not me trying, like, no, this is really me trying and it's not falling at all. Like, the magnets work, I can assure you that. So moving all the switches to the side, once you remove the first tier of the box, actually there's more down here. So if you do open that, you can, if you open the next tab down, if I would have paid attention, you do find your HDMI cord, and you also have your Joy-Con 2 straps, so I'll put these aside too. I don't know why, but I like keeping all the plastics exactly where they were when I unboxed it. So yeah, now when you remove the second tier and go down, immediately you'll be finding your AC adapter. Well, this is just the USB Type-C cord. And the AC adapter. Then, if you look here, you'll find your Switch 2 cradle. Now, of course, last and certainly not least, we have our Switch 2 dock. I don't know why, but it just feels massive to me, but I mean, the Switch 2 itself is a little bit bigger. Nintendo couldn't necessarily match the size, because of course, the Switch 2 is more powerful than the original Switch, and to compensate, to give themselves a little bit more room to put a bigger battery and stuff like that, they did have to increase the size of the Switch 2 itself. But yeah, it just feels massive for whatever reason. It also is a bit chunkier if you look from the back, because when you open this up, there is a fan right here to help cool off the system, which is good because it helps, well, cool down the system. And just for comparison, if I do slot this in, it won't fit, but like, it like barely fits at all. But yeah, no, I can tell that this system itself is a bit more comfortable to hold as well. It just feels a little bit bigger. Actually, if I have to be honest, it almost feels skinnier than the original Switch. I can definitely tell, now I can't talk about the quality of the Joy-Cons in terms of like, will they still have stick drift? Allegedly they did rework them, so the answer should be no. But I can't promise it, of course. But the buttons do feel slightly bigger, and overall it does feel slightly better to hold, but I still would recommend a Pro Controller, honestly. But my initial thoughts before turning on the Nintendo Switch 2 is that it does feel like a very premium and quality system. But with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would simply consider to like and subscribe, and I will be of course making more content about the Nintendo Switch 2, so yeah, let me know down in the comments, did you get a Switch 2? And if so, what games are you going to be playing first? I would once again like to thank you for watching the video all the way to the end, and if you did enjoy this video, why not check out another one? For whatever reason, YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy this one, so try checking out that one next. And until next time, Wadao.